Diego Cortevez.
Adam Schoenfeld.
Welcome to The Scoop. We had a very interesting part 1 with Chad Brown, which is on Card Player TV, but we want to talk more about what he's looking to up ahead in terms of tournaments and games, especially now that the cash games are re-enlivened by the introduction of a lot of internet players, and he's got experience with both, so let's see what he's got to say. You mentioned before the Chad Brown tournament. I was intrigued by that because this is not like just a little charity tournament or whatever. This was like $100,000 for first place, big no limit tournament, and I saw you finish second.
Right.
It would have been awkward for you to win the Chad Brown tournament. This is where it's like SF.
No, as a gentleman, you just come in second. Right.
How did that all come about? This is second year.
Well,
I saw.
yeah. Well, I think they got the idea first because, which maybe you guys don't even realize, is that Vanessa and I had hosted a tournament at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, and that main event I won.
Okay.
That was the 5K. Actually, I won the PLO the day before, and then I won the main event.
So this is not unprecedented. You host an event and you just
and
win.
then I won it, right?
So
So,
it looks
so the owner
odd to do that two
it
times
does,
in a row,
right? So the owner of the Jacksonville Kennel Club Vanessa had done a boot camp there, and there was a charity thing, and I had come, and the owner had asked for me to come, and then so a few months after that, that was after we hosted the Beau Rivage, he had his general manager call me up and said, "Look, we'd like to do a Chad Brown tournament. Can we do it?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I met with him, and then he said, "You know, I saw you on TV many times, and I don't like the guys that when they lose, they're disrespectful." He goes, "You've always been respectful."
like Adam.
And that's why this is the kind of, and his staff, emulates that persona that he wants for his place, and that's all the staff there. They all treat everyone respectfully, and they're great. So I was very happy to do it, and it was great for me to do it.
Got a big prize pool. I mean,
there's a big prize pool. They also had a televised big cash game.
I saw that.
Right.
So, but you play this, you get to the final table, and then finally heads up.
And finally heads up, and the player who won, he played great. I never played with him before. I understand he was a really good online, had a big success online, and I think he had like a 3-1 chip lead on me when we started, and hand came up that we would have made us even in chips. I had him on the turn with a pair and a flush draw, and when the flush came, I actually gave him, because I know he would be capable to try to bluff me off it. And I check raised him, and he re-raised me, and I'm like, well, now I only have a little. The check raise was pretty much pot committed. Too tough of to lay it down right there. And
that's the problem with a good player. You can't lay down. And
right.
If they have it, it's over.
Right.
I mean, you mentioned Vanessa a couple of times. Vanessa Rousso, you're married now, and she's a very successful tournament player primarily. So when you guys are home, is there like a no poker zone, or do you guys go over hand histories, or is there a middle ground?
Not really.
I always thought it could be tough just to have poker at work and poker at home.
Yeah, at this stage, in the beginning when we first started dating, there'd be a lot more poker questions. I did this. What did you think? And we would discuss more. But now, only when either one of us have a situation in a tournament that maybe didn't even knock us out, just might have been like, I made this big lay down, I don't know if it was right, what do you think? And then we would, discuss it. And, the truth is that poker's so subjective. Actually, had written an article about, and it was because of her. I wrote it because she thought like she was like so black and white, that was such a bad play. Had made the final table of high roller in Sydney, and I had 13 big blinds, But that's not the whole story. The real story is that the two chip leaders were the two young, aggressive kids who were the chip leaders they were directly 1 and 2 to my right. And why that's relevant is because I'm almost never going to be the first one in.
Right.
If it folds to them, one of them are raising with any two cards.
You're not going to be stealing, right?
Not going to, right. So then I know I don't even have fold equity. So a situation came up where one of them was in the big blind, the other one was under the gun, and he folded, and I had 2 sevens.
Right.
So I shipped it. So guy with ace queen called, and I lost. I went up to the room. She goes, "What happened?" I said, I had like 12, 13 big blinds. I shipped it with 2 sevens. I said, explain the dynamics of the table. Oh, I don't like that player, she said. And I wasn't even like my decision. I was certain I made the right decision. But I respect Vanessa's game that I thought, you know what? There may be other top tournament players that actually may see it the way she sees it. And I thought this would be a very interesting article. So what I did is I went to like, 5 or 6 top tournament players, some internet top players, and some of the old school top players, and just to see what they say. And there was only one player who said they wouldn't have played it. That was Scotty Wynn. Everyone else said the internet players like, oh, instant ship it. The one who gave the most interesting answer was Joe Hashem. Joe said, I would raise 2.5 times, and everyone would think I'm pot committed. But even though a lot of people would disagree with me, he said, I wouldn't be pot committed. I've always played my instincts, and there will be some times when, if I get re-raised all in, I'll lay it down. But I'll probably be pot committed, but I'm not.
That
depends.
That is very interesting.
Because he said it's more scary that you raise 2.5 times, like you want action. And,
Sure. No doubt.
Right. So I actually liked what Joe said.
When you're in for 13, they figure, okay, we can rule out aces and kings and queens because why would he make such a big move in?
If we're going to talk about poker strategy, the reason I don't like 2.5 is because now when you get called in 1 or 2 spots, behind you, and then if they happen to have bigger stacks there, I don't know what the exact stack distribution is.
If it's just a call, the sevens under the gun is going to be difficult to play. But
he said one guy had folded
or +1.
Yes.
Sorry. Early position.
I'll ship anything, by the way.
What's interesting is that with all the recent events, we're going to see a lot more, the so-called online players playing live.
Right.
We're already seeing that, even just locally. So how players adapt or how the games, merge, because there's definitely a certain style that's predominant online, and not only is it different skills required, but there's different style, and in order to best exploit that style, you may need to adapt your own style. Now we're really going to see some kind of multi-level thinking as a new crowd of players starts playing in the rooms. You were telling me you've been playing in the mixed games, but in the kind of higher limit mixed games.
Right.
You must be seeing some new players, and it must make it more interesting, if nothing else.
There's no real new guys that I haven't played with in the mixed games, but the no limit games that Aria, Joseph Chung was there. Anyone who lives in Vegas that's a top no limit player.
Right.
They're all playing over there.
With their 4-bet, 5-bet.
right.
That can make life quite difficult.
But it's funny.
It's going to shake up some of the long-time regulars all of a sudden.
Adam was telling me, it was earlier before we started, I think, that you were playing 2-5.
Yeah.
And, I was waiting for the mixed game one. And I already realized, just naturally that the lower games are going to be softer. I played 3-5 at Aria, and I was shocked how easy. There's not one player. There's not one player. There was one player that he's only. I guess I wouldn't say he's an open book because this was the one player who likes to try to bluff a lot.
Right.
Other than him, so you just call and you let him try to bluff you. But everyone else was an open book, and it was like they might as well play with their hands open. You know exactly what they have.
It's funny that you say that, Chad, because I remarked to Diego, you always see on the internet that the corresponding live game, so 10-20 no limit is really like 100-200 live no limit. the live game is 10 times easier, softer than you'd expect, and I actually have found that it's unbelievable at the,
It's unbelievable. It really is.
I mean, the internet has toughened this up because players are so skilled,
Right.
that, not to say that they're unskilled and to make the games good, but the really top players really make you think and react to situations that are much more uncommon in the live game. So
No question about
it just
it.
makes you prepared for a lot more.
I mean, I played in a limit game. This is like my first cash, and it was not high limit, hold'em, not high at all. And the first hand where I was in the big blind, it was 6 people had limped before it got to me, and I just said to myself, Adam, this isn't the internet.
Right.
Something weird has happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on The Scoop, and it's always great to talk to Chad Brown.
Chad's got a lot.
He's got a lot in various realms, so we're going to bring him back for a prestigious third part, and look for it next time on Card Player TV.